Good morning and a warm welcome to all the participants to the third webinar hosted by Forum of Free Enterprise. Forum of Free Enterprise was established in 1956 by the late Mr. A.D. Shroff with the objective of educating the public on economic affairs. Forum did this by publishing booklets and biographies and arranging public meetings on various economic subjects across the country. Till date, Forum has published over 750 booklets and about 4,400 public meetings all across. In a way, Forum's work has impacted the Indian economy and contributed to the simplification and the rationalization of the tax structure. Post 1991, Forum moved its focus to nurturing the youth with various activities like elocution competitions, leadership training camps, essay writing competitions, and so on. With these activities, around 139,000 youngsters have been impacted. The objective of these activities is to develop active, responsible, and well-informed citizens. Beginning 2019, Forum started a webinar series titled Being an Out-of-the-Box Achiever. In this series, this is the third one. The first webinar was by Mr. Amey Mashelkar, who is the CEO of GeoGenNext, and the second one was by Dr. Sheetal Amte. And today we have the third webinar. We have with us Mr. Navin Kale and Mr. Ashay Mahajan, who would be taking you through their journey of entrepreneurship. Welcome Navin and Ashay, and over to them. Thank you.
Good morning, friends. This is Ashay Mahajan. Just to give a brief background of myself, I'm a chartered accountant, and past almost 15 years I was into consulting and been consulting to various companies, mostly into planning and budgeting. Navin and myself, we have been college friends, and in 2008, Navin's dad started a tour company which was into social tourism, and Navin himself is a LLB by background, and he was working in a IT company in the legal department for 12 years. During this journey, Navin started coming across a lot of people doing interesting work, and he believed that these people should have an interesting platform to present an idea, and that's when the idea of Swayam Talks came to life. And since 2014, we are pursuing this idea of taking Swayam Talks to cities across Maharashtra, and our dream is to kind of bring in other regional languages also, and ensure that whoever in India, in whichever language he might have an idea, he should be able to present in front of people. So that's a brief about Swayam Talks. I think so we can go into the question answers and take whatever questions we have.
Thank you, Ashay, for sharing what Swayam Talks is all about. It's very interesting. You all will be very fascinated to know that one of them is a chartered accountant and the another a lawyer, both professionals, having a lot of versatile interests. But what is it that inspired you to conceive something like Swayam Talks? What was it?
So, right from the college days, we had been involved in conducting events. So, I was into dance, Navin was into singing. So, we were closely related to kind of doing events. Then, because of the professional stuff, we got into, so I completed my chartered accountancy, Navin completed his law course. And as everybody would go after doing those courses, we got into the corporate world. But while going through this corporate world, we always, so the whole friend circle always used to kind of meet, and we always pushed each other to kind of thinking about different ideas. And it so happened that while we were continuing with our corporate job, on weekends or during the trips which Navin's dad had started, we used to go on these trips. And while we were on those trips, we started meeting interesting people. And when we used to come back to our corporate life, it was very mundane, and for every Monday to Friday it looked like same, but the weekends we found it very different. So then we started thinking about that if this idea is we are finding it very interesting, can this idea be taken to many more people? And I think so, as luck would have it, at the same time the internet and everything was also happening. So it allowed us the platform to kind of take it to more people. And now we have a YouTube channel, and we kind of conduct these talks live. There are various modes through which we can take even a story which is in the remotest part of India or Maharashtra, and we can put it to the platform and make it reach almost lakhs and millions of people. And I think so that is making this idea more interesting, and we are actually enjoying the whole process.
And basically the urge to share something and share interesting was also there. So the this quality of sharing, that also helped us in taking this to next level.
How long did this concept of Swayam Talks, how long did it take to take off actually? So from the time you conceived, because youngsters would usually have these anxieties of whether I will succeed or not. So there is always a gestation period.
Absolutely.
What kind of gestation period did you all have before you jumped from the corporate world to your own world?
So I will just start with the experience of the first year. So in 2014, when we conceived that we should have such kind of a talk, so we were very positive, and we booked a 500-seater auditorium for this event. And we tried to kind of reach out to all colleges, all corporates, and try to get people to this event. And now I can say that we were lucky to have at least 100 people for that event. And we couldn't imagine that we have a 500-seater auditorium and the 400 seats are empty. And that time we felt that whether we are doing the right things, but I think so patience is a very big virtue in entrepreneurship. It will never kind of just you plan and the idea will fall in place. And one more thing which we had from the beginning we had planned, that in all our talks we are not going to kind of focus on bringing some celebrities. So we were advised that you just bring some celebrities which will kind of get people to come to your talks, and then you can introduce them to some interesting people. But we were adamant in saying that no, each and every person who would come and share his talk here would not be a celebrity, but he would be there for his idea. And that first year we had many people who suggested, we advised you that this is not going to work.
And many also advise that you keep it free. So we were quite adamant that it has to be a paid event. So maybe because of that, very few turned up for that event. But from the day one, we were very confident that this idea will catch up very soon.
Yeah, so this is 2014, and 2014 and 15 was a struggle for us. But coming 2016, we just announced the program on WhatsApp, and within say 20 days, the whole program went houseful, and we had people requesting on the last day that, okay, you didn't tell us about the program, so we didn't get the tickets. So we would just request you that you arrange us, we will stand in the corridors, but we want to kind of come to the program. So I think so by in 3 years, we were in a position that people started coming to this program. And in 2017, we took it across Maharashtra. So when we were confident about conducting in Mumbai, we took it to all other places in Maharashtra. And from each city, because of the social media and all other exposures, we got the exact same response. And I think so by 2019, right now, we are doing these programs in Mumbai, Pune, Nashik, Aurangabad, Jalgaon, Solapur, Thane. So right now we believe that we wanted to take it to more cities, but it took us a decent amount of time to get settled in this.
So just to conclude what Ashay said, that when many people would tell you that you are wrong, just be assured that you are on the right path.
Yes, so I think you all have already highlighted two qualities of being a successful entrepreneur is conviction in your own idea and thought,
Yes.
and patience.
Absolutely.
Faith and patience is what you need to take it forward.
Correct.
Can you share some interesting anecdotes or incidents which validate your decision of having launched Swayam?
So we believed right from the start that if you see in this concept, so there are the Swayam team is involved, the speaker who's wanting to present this idea is involved, and the audience is involved. And we always used to kind of continuously validate that does each of these participants or the stakeholders are getting something out of it. So I'll just share some stories that how did the speakers benefit out of it. So there is a farmer called Naneshwar Bodke, and he had 1 acre farm midst Hinjewadi, which is right now the IT capital of Pune, so IT hub of Pune. And everybody around him sold their lands to these big IT companies. But he said that no, I am a farmer and I will continue doing farming. And he developed this idea of 1 acre farming. He presented this idea on Swayam Talks. In next 1 year, 12,000 people visited his farm. Now he charges people to come to his farm. So if people want to visit his farm, he charges them some money, so that he says that I don't spend this time for free. And his farming concept, he has now connected 400 such farmers, and they have a turnover of 400 crores. So this idea, now people from US are calling him, people from other states are calling him that we have land and we would like to explore this idea of 1 acre farming, and we would want to take this farming to the next level. Then there was a young guy called Yajurvendra Mahajan. So he is 37 years old, and he is running a residential school for special kids, and they are physically challenged, and they are preparing for IAS and IPS exams. And he has taken 12 such buildings on rent, and it's a residential school for these kids. Once this program was presented on YouTube, he almost got support from all the corporates to tune of about 1 crore rupees. And now his project is kind of he is taking it to the next level, where he is kind of building one place where all these students would come along. So speakers are getting benefited out of it. The audience, there is one lady who used to work in a bank, and for 4 years she used to come for Swayam Talks. And one day we got a mail from her saying that I was really impressed by the way people are trying to do some different things. And I just thought about that, what can I do? So she took 1 year sabbatical, in that 1 year, she learned all the things which she felt that she should do. So she learned some new skill, new language, new dance form. And 1 year, she enjoyed that 1 year, and she said that I'll now go back to my job refreshed, and I would do much more effectively in my job. The other person called us from a small city called Narayangao, which is 2 hours away from Pune. And he used to say that previously when I used to listen to all motivational talks, it was about all big people, they are doing great things. But my first conclusion that because they are great, they are doing great things. But as soon as I started following Swayam talks, I came to know that there are these ordinary people doing some extraordinary stuff. So everybody just needs to kind of find out what is extraordinary in them. And they are both, husband and wife are tax consultants, and they used to work for 6 days, and 1 day they used to take rest. So now they only work for 5 days. And 1 day in all the schools around, they take Swayam talks, they take their projector, they go to the schools and make those kids there listen to these Swayam talks. And he says that this is giving us a very refreshing feeling. And when it comes down to us for the past 5 years, meeting these people, interacting with the audience, after the event gets over, the responses which we get from people that it was really a life-changing event, it made me think. All these, I think so, incidents makes it worthwhile to do what we are doing right now.
Well, this was definitely very interesting, and you said that it is very gratifying also. But I'm sure our friends who have logged in would like to know that how have you generated revenue out of this? Because that is also one of the outcomes of entrepreneurship that a youngster would like to know. How did you convert this into a revenue model? If you can, please.
Right from the start, we believe that any concept which we take has to generate revenue, and we always believe that revenue is like oxygen. So even that is not the focus of the whole idea, but just to keep your business running, you should have revenue. So all the events which we do are ticketed events. So right from day one, we never believed in making these talks free for people. And the basic idea is we believe that if a person pays for this talk, he would be investing his attention to this talk. If we kind of keep it for free, he would just come down because it is free and kind of just listen to our talk. But as soon as we make it paid, we are in the capacity to take the production value of the talk to the next level. Also, he has committed to that event. So he will come to that event, and so that is one source of revenue. The other source of revenue is because of you are conducting it front of a larger crowd. There are sponsorship available from big brands who want to kind of get associated with nice concepts. So there are brands which are right now interested in getting along with new concepts, and that is where you kind of get the sponsorship revenue. And the other revenue, which right now is if you are using social media effectively. When I say effectively, that you are creating your original content, the content is of lot of quality, and you are generating a lot of views onto the social media. That is also one of the channels. But when I say that these are all the revenue channels, I would always kind of conclude it with saying that any entrepreneur should kind of keep the revenue part of it as a byproduct. It should generate revenue. But if we focus on the revenue, I think so the creativity starts getting affected. So right from the start, we have always concentrated that while we are cautious about the concept that the event should generate revenue, but we have always kept it secondary after the creative process. So for us, the creative process or your idea is the first and foremost thing. Then comes, you have to think about how you are generating revenue out of it. So that's our conviction.
And it has to be self-sustainable. That was the objective.
So how is this concept that When you started Swayam Talks, you must have had a vision that you would like to reach a level. How has this concept expanded your vision? How has it widened your horizon?
So initially we were very much concentrated on the talks part of it. But while we started doing the talks, we came to know that we are actually not getting the talk delivered, but we are getting this story delivered to people. And there might be people who might be good orators and they are able to present their idea well. But then there might be people who might not be good orators, but they have a story to tell. So then we started venturing out into small documentaries, which we have called it now Swayam Stories. And then there, as I was discussing, that there was one more interesting concept where the school started approaching us that can these speakers come to our place and talk directly to the students. So that gave one more idea that we are just starting a concept called Swayam Setu, where these speakers who are doing exceptional job, we are planning to take them to schools and they will have
especially the rural schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the rural schools, they have a lot of aspirations and they would want to kind of talk to these people in person. They would want to hear, they would want to raise a lot of questions to these people, because any social media or visual media is a one-way communication. So they are presenting their talks, but if something comes in their mind, they have no way to kind of get in touch with the speakers. So we came to know that initially we said that we are going to conduct Swayam Talks, but now we call ourselves storytellers, and we say that in whichever manner the story needs to be delivered to the people, we would keep on exploring the avenues of sharing these stories, and in whichever interesting format these stories are there, we would take it. One more side of the vision was, initially we were just thinking of that because we are from Marathi background, we will kind of take it to Marathi. But I am happy to say that there are a lot of Gujarati people who started attending this event. And there were people who started coming to us and started telling that, okay, you are doing this for Marathi crowd, but what happened to, how are you going to kind of help the other regional languages spread these ideas? And I'm happy to announce that in December, we are doing our first Hindi Swayam. And so our language horizon is also slowly increasing, expanding. So whatever we thought initially that we would be a talk show being conducted in Marathi, now that horizon has expanded to we are storytellers, and in whichever language in India which is being spoken, we would be happy to explore that language.
So in fact, that was my very next question as to how do you propose to take it to other regions by, having speakers from the other regional languages.
So right now we have received kind of inquiries from Telugu, we have received inquiries from Gujarati, Hindi, and Marathi is already there. And just one report I would want to kind of share, which was just kind of done by Google. And Google has mentioned that currently the English language internet users are more, and the regional languages internet users are less in numbers. But by 2021, the regional language internet users are going to grow at a very high speed, and by 2021 we will have 536 million regional language users. And the whole idea is that the mobile phones are becoming cheap, the internet is becoming affordable, and the aspirations in the rural areas are increasing. So more and more the content in the regional languages would be consumed, and that is giving us hope that whatever we are exploring in the other regional languages, that is also going to pick up speed. Just for our channel, I could just tell you, we are just discussing that in the first 3 years on the social media, we just had about 5,000 to 6,000 subscribers. And right now when I'm talking to you, it is almost growing 200 subscribers every day. And right now we are at almost 57,000 subscribers on YouTube. And the rate at which it is growing, I am pretty sure that the number will just keep on increasing.
Yeah, I think I have exhausted my questions, but I am taking home a lot of learning as to how a small idea, a small thought has turned up, and thanks to the internet, the social media, we have been fortunate in this era to have these facilities, and I'm sure youngsters would be inspired by this kind of interaction, and probably some of them may even come in touch with you directly, or they'll reach out to you for guidance. So thank you very much. You may like to take the questions which some of our participants have sent online. So Ashay, would you like to take those now?
Yeah. So I think so. The first question is about what are the first steps in executing the idea we have, and how can we make a contact? Is it necessary to be a socialist in making the efforts to putting it on social medias? So yeah. So socialist in these terms is whether you are on social media. So I think so. This is asked by Sakshi Mishra. So right from day one, we have always believed that this social media is an interesting way to put your idea forward, and these are interesting platforms. But these platforms cannot be more interesting than your idea. So the bigger thing which we have to work upon, whether the idea is interesting, and if the idea is interesting, I think so. Whether there are many avenues, you just need not concentrate on social media. If social media is one of the ways, it should be explored, but nothing can be done only concentrated on the social media. So I think so. We believe that the idea is the supermost in entrepreneurship. Rest of the channels, and I am saying that the communication channels will just keep on getting interesting and more engaging. So Facebook and Instagram are not the end of the world. There are many more channels which are going to come in, and it will just keep on getting more and more interesting. I think so. The second question is how we can take the first step to execute our idea. Is it always necessary to socialize? What are the legal norms in starting a business or a capital market? I think so. If we have an idea, currently, there are a lot of ways in which people are ready to fund our idea. There are a lot of private equity firms, there are a lot of angel investors who are looking out for interesting ideas. So currently I don't think so there is short of capital. If you have an interesting idea, if we are having conviction that this idea is going to work, I believe that there are a lot of people who are there to fund these ideas. Then the other part of the question was whether you need to socialize. I think so. I always believe that you should be who you are. So in terms, if you are an introvert and you don't like to socialize, you would need a partner who would be interested in socializing. So leaving your core area and kind of getting into anything which you are not, it seldomly helps. So in our team also, I think so, Navin is the thinker and I am the talker. So I can always say that he is the heart and I am the head. So he just gives the creative idea. I am the person who kind of goes and presents in front of people. So I don't get into the creative process. He doesn't get into the talking process. That makes this process interesting. What abilities does entrepreneurs should have before setting up an enterprise? I think so. The biggest two things which we already discussed is lots and lots of patience. Without patience, if we are getting into entrepreneurship, it would become lot frustrating, because if it's a different idea, and entrepreneurship is always about executing a new idea. If you are executing an existing idea, it is called business. So business is about purchasing and selling goods. So somebody has already set up some stuff. You can just take that concept and buy and sell goods and earn profit. So that is called business. But entrepreneurship is about idea, and you would always understand that when you are presenting your idea to a new society, it will take time for them to kind of get used to that idea. It will take time for them to understand that this is new way of thinking. So it has never happened that somebody with an entrepreneurship skill has presented an idea and everybody has just accepted without effort. So it is lot of conviction to your idea and lot of perseverance. In office also, we have kind of put up 4 philosophies for ourselves. That is integrity, that we will not do anything wrong just to kind of grow our business. We will do everything with passion. We will involve a lot of creative in the process, and persistence. So
You can share the pictures also.
yeah, so for each of the pictures, for integrity, we have put up the picture of JRD Tata for us. So it keeps on reminding us about the integrity. For passion, we have Steve Jobs. And for creativity, we have Walt Disney. And for persistence, I don't know whether how many of you know, but there is a guy called Manji, Dashrath Manji. So he was in Bihar, and his wife died climbing a mountain. So for 20 years, only with a chisel, he kind of opened up the mountain and created a road. So if he can do it for 20 years, I think so we have lot of time available with us to continue with this persistence. How to start an enterprise by become a student studying in rural area? I think so with now all these things, the internet available, the connectivity being there is a very thin line between rural and urban. So whoever has the curiosity of a question, I think so if you put it on Google or YouTube, I'm sure everybody is going to find out the answer for it. So rather than saying that I am from a particular background, I think so we should be starting to ask questions to ourselves that are we really curious about this process? I would never advise anybody to get into entrepreneurship looking at somebody else's success. If you are able to see somebody's pain and you are able to enjoy somebody else's, that okay, this is the process which is very interesting. If the process looks interesting, get into entrepreneurship, because results are the final product. You will never see the hardships which that entrepreneurs might be going through. You would always see the final product, and final product always looks very interesting than the initial times. So I would kind of request Irana Bhusatli that kind of remove the tag of rural from their mind, and she can just think about what is the idea. How to find balance between professional success and environmental preservation? Can time and energy be divided between these two fruitfully? I think so. The balance is always about keeping the things interesting. If we are able to kind of keep the things interesting, the balance is automatically sought. If we try to push ourselves when we are not enjoying the process, I think so that time is when it becomes really boring. So in last almost 4 years, 5 years, we have gone through very different processes, and that process not always was exciting one. But at the end of the day, when we kind of see the evolvement of Swayam Talks, we believe that each time, rather than getting disappointed, we just asked ourselves the question how to kind of tackle this problem, and we were lucky enough to get the answers for the same. So,
And I think the credit must be given to the team also. The team is excellent, what we have. I mean, everybody is so lively that they don't let us, get frustrated or get disappointed.
So team meaning your creative team? Is
The
it your?
the entire team,
Okay.
team of Swayam. So there are
So how big is the team you build?
almost 20 people.
20 people, okay.
Almost 20 people.
So they are all motivated by you and you are motivated by them. So in return. Probably you may just like to refresh the computer in case there are additional questions whilst we were talking. The refresh key. No, page 2. Can you see page 2? No, page size has 10 questions. Oh, that's a new question, right.
Can raise funds, how to startup can pitch to a potential investor.
So as I was discussing earlier that there are a lot of private equity players, there are a lot of angel investors, and then if your idea is formulated, the banks have also started taking interest in small enterprises having a very good idea. So I don't think so funding is the bigger challenge here. As soon as we kind of have an idea, we will find many people who would kind of come forward to fund it. And the pitch also about a new idea is about how this idea is going to help, how this idea is going to grow. Most of the investors don't ask your financial plan, but they are very much interested in your vision, that where are you planning to kind of take this concept, what is your horizon. And if you are very committed to these questions, I think so funding is a very secondary thing for them. So right now I believe that people are looking out for passionate people doing some interesting things in their areas. So I think so if you are interested in your idea, there would be a lot of people who would be interested.
Okay. What is that?
Legal issues for startup.
So as long as you don't try to copy something, you don't try to kind of take somebody's else idea and try to show it as of your own, I don't think so we should be bothered too much about the legal areas. I have left chartered accountancy, but there are many other chartered accountants who kind of help people in getting the stuff of registering a company or doing their formal stuff in place. So there are a lot of so Navin was a lawyer, so chartered accountants and lawyers, other lawyers are still practicing, so they will keep on continue to help. But from the entrepreneur's perspective, as long as you know that you are not getting into the wrong areas, the idea is your own, I don't think so legal issues are too much to be thought about initially.
I agree. If the work is original and genuine, then you don't need to worry on the legal front. So I think you have really covered and given them a huge insight into how Swayam was thought of, how it was given birth to, and how it is flying high today, and it will fly higher. So I think this will leave our participants motivated, and we look forward to interactions in future also. Wish you good luck in all you do, and thank you very much Navin and Ashay for being with us today. Friends, this talk will be on Forum's YouTube channel, which is Forum of Free Enterprise, maybe after a couple of weeks. So you're free to log in and view the talk in case you would like to share it with your friends, your colleagues and others. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your time and being with us today, and look forward to the announcements for our future webinars. Thank you.